You're listening to Snippets from the Summit with your host, Scott McKay.
How's it going, gentlemen? This is your main man, Scott McKay, coming at you with another Snippet from the Summit as part of the Mountaintop podcast. As you probably already figured out, about a dozen of these Snippets from the Summit in, I like to get a little bit whimsical when I do these little solo casts for you guys. I don't want to just rehash the same thing you've heard over and over again. So when I come up with a title like Men Should Be More Like Dogs, or however I ended up wording it, what I'm talking about is not that we should be, like little chihuahuas champing at the bit, trying to get our hands on women, or that we're impatient, or that we're real easily pleased and wag our tails at anything that looks good. That's not what I mean this time. Where this particular snippet from the Summit is coming from is based on a coaching conversation I had with a guy that has a really good sense of humor. And we were just talking about simply the relationship between men and women nowadays and how it's become more adversarial. And there's no denying it. I mean, the red-pilled outlets that basically teach men to fend for themselves vis-a-vis what women could theoretically do to them, all these victim-based mindsets that are out there are wildly popular with men. And what you guys may not know is they're equally popular with women. I mean, there are YouTubers out there with like millions of followers who blatantly show other women how to take advantage of men, sap them for all their resources, et cetera, because men are just no darn good and that's what they deserve. Well, let's talk about why men should be more like dogs, not only for our own benefit, but to the benefit of the women who really probably would love to have a man like we're about to talk about, right? It's all about men and women not being adversaries anymore. All right, so consider this. No animal in the history of creation has ever been more successful, and indeed probably more willing, to build an alliance with mankind than dogs. Dog's man's best friend. Everybody who is a dog person knows that your dog will be loyal to the end, pretty much to a fault. If your dog is on your team in your house and you're the one feeding it, your dog will basically be your buddy for life. Even horses, or perhaps even other animals we keep as pets, certainly cats. I mean, cats are not loyal at all. I mean, whoever feeds it next is their new home, right? But even horses, you have to break horses. Horses are always kind of like putting up with humans, riding them, et cetera, et cetera. Dogs are unique. Dogs actually like humans and want to be in a relationship with humans. And how do we as humans respond? Well, it's very, very simple. The thought of, say, hunting a dog, killing it, and then eating its meat is repulsive to us as human beings. Even when you go to North Korea or places infamous for eating dogs, what you're basically talking about there is a special breed of dog that they indeed farm specifically for its meat. So even in countries like that, it's not like people are going around the neighborhood, rolling up on people's dogs, shooting them and cooking them up for dinner. It's not like that at all. So what I think has happened is, instead of being like dogs in the best way possible, building an alliance with women, what we've done is we've turned more into cows, or at least steers, okay? Now, hang with me here, because I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous at face value, okay? So cattle, they're very happy to have you give them a field to graze in, maybe feed them, and really all they do in return is look at you kind of soullessly and go moo, at best, right? So why do we as humans have cows around? Well, we figured out they're delicious. No apologies to you vegans out there. Let me tell you something. Cows are delicious. Okay. So when we act like cows or steers or however you want to term it, hey, let's call ourselves Black Angus, because Black Angus are particularly delicious, right? We shouldn't be surprised when we really don't offer much to the people who are giving us grass to graze in and food to eat, that in the end, really, all they want to do is eat us alive. The cow doesn't care about you. Apologies to all the people on YouTube who have like a pet cow and so forth. Hey, look, we know that's a unique situation. A whole lot more people have an alliance built with man's best friend, aka the dog, than they do with their cows. Okay. You talk to any cattle rancher and their cattle are a commodity. They will be killed, eaten, and be delicious. But we as men indeed have kind of reduced ourselves to livestock in that regard. I mean, we really have no use for women. We don't like them. We really just want sex, aka we want to be fed and have a pasture to graze in, right? How do you like that analogy? And then we're surprised when women basically eat us alive or kill us and eat us or however you want to look at it. Well, that's why we should be more like dogs than cattle, right? So the moral of this story in human terms is, gentlemen, when we build alliances with women, not only do we get more of what we want, we've been giving women more of what they want. They respect us more. They like us more. They're looking out for our well-being. And the next thing you know, boom, you're an alliance. You're best friends in the best way possible. The sex happens because she's all in on it every bit as much as you are. She's not interested in killing you and eating you. You're not a commodity to her anymore because what's happened is you see your alliance with a female human being as a positive thing that's mutually beneficial. Now listen, as an aside here, before you guys all start writing me somehow purporting that I'm trying to teach you guys how to be simps, because after all, humans tend to be the owners of their dogs, not vice versa, although I've seen situations that would challenge that assumption. This analogy really does only go so far. That's not the kind of thing I'm talking about here. What I'm doing is I'm explaining to you guys straight up that building alliances with women is better than, well, women and men treating each other as some sort of commodity that ultimately just ends up with us killing and eating each other. This is simply an allegorical exhortation to you guys to start building alliances with women. And, you know, if anything, where this whole analogy falls apart is we, in this case, should be the ones leading and sort of be the owners of the situation ourselves. So I want to be clear about that for sure. And with that, that's the sum total of what I want to talk about today. Guys, it makes sense, right? Let's talk about it from a purely human perspective. The reality is we're neither dogs nor cows. We're humans. And guess what? Women are of the same species we are. We're all human. When we build alliances with female human beings, we're leading as men in the best interest of women. And if a woman can't handle that to the point where she's still using us, abusing us, trying to kill and eat us or whatever, we just say, talk to the hand. That's not how it works. But what I'm telling you guys is put this to the test. When you go out and you lead with building alliances with women, you like women, you want to spend time with them, you are looking at them from the holistic value, not only that they'll, maybe make you a sandwich or clean your house or whatever and take care of you in whatever ways women want to take care of men or, typically take care of men. You're also going to be there for her. You're going to provide and protect. And we as human beings, when we're in partnership with each other, the loyalty builds, the good feelings build, and we just like each other better. We're enjoying each other's company more, and together we're living our best life. That's how it works. It's all about building alliances. That's the design. And if you think dogs are designed to be man's best friend, they're still another species. Men and women are even more clearly designed, when you get right down to it, to be in partnership together. That's the way it should be. Anything else is an attempt to deviate from the natural order of things. Want to talk about this or anything else? Scot at mountaintoppodcast.com. Be good out there.
As always, visit mountaintoppodcast.com for more.